What's going on, guys? So, this video, I want us to talk about trading psychology. Okay. So, the topic that we're going to get into is greed. This is something that is big that could impact our trading for the long run if we don't work on fixing this issue, right? Because greed could hurt us no matter if we're winning a trade, it definitely if we're losing, right? So, let's talk about winning, right? Why does greed affect us even if we're in profits? Because you're always thinking about more. It doesn't matter. Like, this is one thing I had to tell myself because this is something I used to deal with when I started out my trading career, right? Because nobody told me this. Is it doesn't matter how much you have in your account. It doesn't matter how much profits you're making, right? Say if you're up $100, that other person is up 500, somebody else is probably up 50 grand, 100 grand, or a million. If you don't work on that greed problem, it doesn't matter. You're always going to want more, right? You're always thinking, what if I let this trade run up a bit? Maybe it could hit the next zone. Let me just put it away and let me just come back later and see what happens, right? And 9 times out of 10, you tell me what happens, right? Like, we always end up in the wrong side, right? We always regret, like, damn, I wish I would have took profits. Why didn't I take profit? Why I allow greed to stop me from winning? And then I also deal with people in the group, right, in my trading community, because this is something we talk about a lot, is they feel that they take profits too early, right? And they end up regretting it because they see their trades run and they always thinking about the what ifs. It doesn't matter where you are in your trading career. You're always going to feel this way. It's just the markets. We are only predicting, right? And we just have to accept the outcome. When we allow our emotions to come in, because each trade is different based off of a different situation. I can't say, man, I closed this trade too early, so the next trade I'm gonna let run. That different outcome of the trade probably just other different outcomes that happen that the move won't continue the way that you expected it to the other time, right? So we can't allow that to affect us while we're trading. So now, what happens with the trader that isn't trading successfully and they're dealing with a greed problem, right? Most of the time, they're just not focusing on building the right habits because they're just focusing on just winning. You're focusing on money the whole entire time, and then you realize that you're just in the wrong side of that market, and you're not telling yourself, you know what? I need to focus on developing a skill, focus on developing a trading plan, so that eventually, when I show myself consistency, then I can start focusing on the money problem. But most of us never get there yet because when you're acting out of greed, that is all you're thinking about. That is what's clouding your judgment, right? So you can't focus on just building good habits. And this is one of the best things that helped me in my journey. I wish I had somebody to tell me this when I started. This would have cut those years in half on building my trading success is work on building better habits. One of the things that I had to do was just tell myself, what does my highest self as an investor look like? What does he do on a daily basis? And what are the decisions that he makes 24/7? Does he makes every single trade based off emotions and impulse, or everything is strategic and planned, right? Because when I take profits on trades, I am pre-planning target areas so that I don't allow motions to dictate if I should close the trade or not. So if I hit that first target because of market structure, I'm out of the trade. I don't allow myself to say, what if this trade can go a little higher, right? I don't allow myself to emotionally get there because I know from consistency doing it this way is what actually helped me get into this position I'm in today, right? It helped me get into this position I'm in today. Because if I just continue to go that route, it's just going to be so much inconsistency in my trading plan, right? Because I don't know what actually works or not. Because when I'm supposed to hit a target, the trade always goes back and hit my take profit or hit my stop loss. So that's why having a set plan, a set target area is key. And it also depends on what is going on at that current moment, right? Because if I have economic data that signals like this trade can go longer because of fundamentals, then most likely I would extend that trade any higher, right? So when I work on in the beginning, I'm just not focusing on the what ifs. I'm not focusing on that max amount. I always focus on just being right. I have such joy in trading when I am right. This is what I want for all of you. When you take a trade, focus on being right. Like even if it's for 5 or 10 pips, building a track record of winning all the time is always a good check in my book, right? So that's one of the things I work on consistently. Just work on being right, guys. And just the greed problem, just understand it's always going to be there. That's just a part of life. Like even when you work in a regular job, you always want more money, right? But in order to get that other position, you have to build yourself and become a better worker. So how come as a trader, this is like the only thing people don't work on building, being better at? You're not trying to build yourself as a better trader. You have to build yourself. It's just like everything else in life. You want to win, you want to be a champion, you want to be the best. You got to start changing who you are today to who you want to become. It all starts with us, right? So everything that comes down to trading psychology, it's all about being the best version of ourselves every single day, right? So if you want to continue to get better, right, just work on being consistent. Work on just hitting those targets and hitting those goals, proving to yourself that you can be right. Because what happens next when you prove that to yourself? Everything that you're wishing and hoping for, right? When it comes to should I add more money now into my account? Should I do this? Should I do that? It is naturally going to come and give you the answer. Because the reason why you have so much uncertainty right now on what you should do next is because you haven't even passed step one. You haven't even proven to yourself yet that you can be consistent enough to trade a bigger account or to put more money or to trade a bigger lot size. First, you have to prove to yourself. Once you prove to yourself, you will know. Because in trading, this is like the only industry where we're not getting a degree to say, hey, you succeeded, trade a higher account, right? No, nobody's giving you a belt and saying that nobody's coming and saying you've been promoted. Nobody's doing that. We have to be our own teacher, right? And we have to prove to ourselves that we could step to that next stage. But also, our trading accounts prove that to ourselves too. So win, but plan, right? Nothing is random, nothing is emotions. It's understand when it comes to greed, it's going to stick with you forever. But you will learn how to control it because you're going to understand what works and what doesn't work. And then you're going to stick to doing only the things that work. All right, guys, hopefully this helps, and I'll see you guys in the next video.